Welcome to Dee's Kitchen Lab at the beach in Boca Raton, Florida. So today I'm going to make a salad for you that we had the other night at a wonderful restaurant. And it's a perfect use for leftover ham from your Easter ham if you happen to make one. And if not, you can just buy ham at a deli. Alright, dressing needs to be made in advance because it's a garlic dressing and it takes a little time for it to mellow. So you want to make this a couple hours before you're ready. We're going to start with a half a cup of olive oil. If you have Spanish olive oil, that would be the best. Put that right in there. Then we're going to add 4 teaspoons of minced garlic. Like I said, this is garlic dressing, so it's going to need some time to mellow. Then we're going to add 2 teaspoons of dried oregano. We're going to whisk that together. And then we're going to drizzle in the white wine vinegar. This is 2 tablespoons. Now it's a little bit less. 2 tablespoons of white wine vinegar. And we're going to let that emulsify in there. And that's basically all there is to it. I've got my kosher salt in my sugar dispenser, my sugar bowl, because we didn't have a salt pig here. And then I'm going to add a little bit of pepper. And we're going to correct the seasonings on this a little later. It's not going to need a lot of salt because we're putting in a lot of cheese, ham, and olives, and those are all salty ingredients. Okay, so that's it. I'm going to refrigerate that, and we'll be back when it's time for dinner. Okay, now we're back after a swim and a shower. We're ready to have dinner and build our salad. So we've got 4 cups of sturdy greens like iceberg or romaine, chopped up into bite-sized pieces so that everything can get mixed together. To that we're adding our tomato cut up into wedges. And now I've got my ham. This is a little bit more than half a cup. These are cut up into 2-inch pieces, 2-inch by 1/4-inch pieces or so. So this is quite a filling salad. So you can serve this as a main course or a side salad. So now I've got my Swiss cheese, cut the same as the ham. That's Switzerland Swiss, yum. Half a cup. And now these are Spanish olives that I actually, let me just show you. I bought these at the Columbia restaurant. Delicious. Half a cup of those olives. All right. So I wish I had a bigger bowl. So we're gonna mix that together as best we can. Already looks delicious. So now we're going to start with the seasoning. 1 whole lemon, and the lemons in Florida are amazing and juicy. So you might wonder whether you should put on your acidic component first or the oil. Well, I'll tell you what. Did you ever look at green leaves on a plant after the rain? They get wet, but they don't get soggy. Well, the same thing with vinegar or the lemon juice. The acid is not going to wilt your lettuce. It's the oil that will wilt your lettuce because the oil coats the leaves so they can't breathe. So you're going to put on your lemon first, because once the oil gets on there, none of that vinegar or oil is ever going to get to your salad. It's just going to slide right off. All right, so we've got that mixed up pretty well. Then we're going to add, let's see, what's next? We're going to add our 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire. So at one point, the Lee and Kearns Company, a Columbia restaurant, was the biggest purchaser of Worcestershire sauce. So this is similar to fish sauce. This is your umami element besides the cheese and the olives. It's going to add a lot of depth of flavor to your salad. Then we're going to put on all of the dressing. So I've never made this before. I'm a little concerned that this is too much dressing. So I am going to start with half the dressing. So I'm just gonna add all the rest of my lettuce. So this is a 10-ounce bag of lettuce. So we definitely needed all of that. So I would say don't use all the dressing. All right, and now we've got the final element, which is Romano cheese. This is a very cheese heavy recipe. So if it's already pre-grated like this, you're gonna use a 1/4 cup. At the restaurant, they make this table side and they have one of those rotary graters, and they made a huge pile for the same amount of salad of fluffy Romano cheese. So I would say if you're grating it in a microplane, then maybe a 1/2 cup would be more likely, because it's going to be much fluffier. All right, let's see how this is doing. Let me just give that a little taste test. I think I'm going to put a little bit more cheese on there. Actually, I think it's got enough cheese. I'm going to put a little bit more salt on there. So maybe kosher salt, maybe a 1/2 teaspoon or so. Put that on there, and definitely a little pepper. Give a little spice. The Columbia restaurant was started in 1905 and has grown to be, I think, 5 different restaurants in Tampa, Clearwater, St. Petersburg, Celebration. They have one at the Tampa airport, and all of them are run by the succeeding generations of the original owner, who was emigrated from Cuba, and his name was, let me check that. Okay, it was started in 1905 by Casimiro Hernandez Sr. And since then, it's been passed down to his children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren. Now the 5th generation is running it. And so it is a real institution. And it is Sarasota's oldest restaurant. It's a Spanish and Cuban restaurant. All right, so let me just give that another taste. I think that's just about perfect. I would like to put a little bit more Worcestershire, I think, on there, and a little more white wine vinegar, because remember I spilled a little. It definitely needs a little brightening. So that was another, I don't know, 2 teaspoons. So this makes 4 really healthy side salads, or 2 main course salads. Besides the ham, instead of the ham, you could use shrimp or turkey. Would also be very good in here. Okay, let's try this salad. Delish. I think I put a little bit too much white wine vinegar on there. I think an additional 1 teaspoon would be fine. So if I hadn't spilled some, it probably would have been perfect, the 2 tablespoons. I think this is a little bit less cheese than they had it on last night, but it's very savory and filling and just sort of makes you want to keep eating it. So I think I'll do that. So enjoy and happy cooking.